This is Listen Lakeland, the show that keeps you up to date on all things happening in and around the Lakeland area. Here's your chance to plan your family activities and learn more about what your city government and your neighbors are doing to make Lakeland a great place to live, work, and play.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the March edition of the Listen Lakeland radio show, a show highlighting people, places, activities, and organizations that make our community an exceptional place to call home. I'm Liz Craven with Lakeland Vision. If you've been listening to the Listen Lakeland radio show over the past few months, you've probably heard about the refreshed vision that was unveiled at the end of 2019. The refreshed vision has 4 focus areas: strong and safe neighborhoods, lifelong education, jobs for a vibrant economy, and activities for a diverse community. While our topic today touches on all of these focus areas, if I had to choose one to highlight, it would be the focus area of activities for a diverse community, which has the stated goal: Lakeland will provide seniors a variety of lifestyle options which support aging in place. On today's show, we will explore Age-Friendly Lakeland and the Age-Friendly Communities Initiative of AARP and the World Health Organization. As a board member at Lakeland Vision, this has been my focus area for the last few years, and I am the chair of the Age-Friendly Lakeland Committee. My guest today is Allie Bates. Allie is the Age-Friendly Lakeland Coordinator. Welcome, Allie.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, we're so glad to have you today. And I have to tell you, for all the listeners, Allie has immersed herself in this project in grand fashion. And we are really fortunate to have her on board, and her passion for the project itself and her passion for people in general is pretty incredible. So
thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So let's start by talking about what is an age-friendly community.
So an age-friendly community is, the background of it is from the World Health Organization and AARP came together, and basically our aging population is increasing over the years. And so we need to make sure that our communities have specific goals and things that are available for people of all ages so that we may age in place. It's one that's safe and secure, that has affordable and appropriate housing and affordable transportation options. It offers support to all the community features and the services to enhance personal independence, to allow residents to remain in their homes and their communities as they age.
Awesome. And, you know, you said as we are all aging, and it brought to mind a statistic for me, and I think most people have probably heard this, but every single day in the United States, 10,000 people turn 65 years old. And, you know, we're watching the baby boomers begin to approach that age where an age-friendly community is super important. And here in Lakeland, about 27% of our population is of the senior age group. So it's really important as a community that we are proactive and that we make sure that we are an age-friendly community and a great place for people to age and to live. And I mean that in every sense of the word, to live, not just to age in the community. So that's why this initiative is so very important. So tell me about the Age-Friendly Initiative. It surrounds 8 domains of livability. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes. So the 8 domains of livability, basically, with Age-Friendly, our mission is to create a collective impact by bringing our vision of an age-friendly community to life. And so that directly ties to 8 domains, which would be the built environment that we have to the social environment. And so the domains would be, first would be outdoor spaces and buildings. So people need public places to gather indoors and out. We need green spaces, safe streets, sidewalks, outdoor seating, accessible buildings. Think elevators, stairs, doors that open automatically, so that these can be used by people of all ages. The second domain is transportation. And so driving should not be the only way to be able to get around, especially safely. So public transportation options can be expansive as the infrastructure is dependent. So we could have a train system or taxi service or utilizing bike lanes, safe crosswalks. Another domain is housing. So AARP surveys consistently find that older adults want to remain and age in their homes for as long as possible. And doing so is possible if the house is designed or modified for aging in place, and if the community housing options for varying life stages. So the fourth domain is social participation. So regardless of anybody's age, loneliness is often the most debilitating health condition, as having a chronic illness and disease. Sadness and isolation can be combated by the availability of accessible, affordable, and fun social activities in our area. Domain 5 is respect and inclusion. So everybody wants to feel valued. Intergenerational activities are a really good way for young and old to learn from one another and really honor what each has to offer at the same time to feel good about themselves. The sixth domain is civic participation and employment. Why does work need to be an all or nothing experience? Truly, an age-friendly community provides ways older people can, if they choose, to continue to work for pay or volunteer their skills and be actively engaged. The seventh domain is communication and information. Now, information today is delivered in several ways, and a lot of people do not really maximize the ways that they could get information. So age-friendly communities recognize that not everybody has a smartphone or internet access, and that information really needs to be sent through a variety of means. And so that's where a lot of our community stakeholders and media can help in sending information. So domain 8 is community and health services. And at some point, every person at every age gets hurt, becomes ill, or simply needs some help. And while it's important that care be available nearby, it's essential that residents are able to access and afford the services that are required. And so by having these 8 domains in place, we want to maximize opportunities for seniors to be active and healthy and engaged with their neighbors, by connecting them with resources and each other within the community.
That's amazing. That is quite a large goal when you think about all of those domains and everything that they encompass. So how is that working with Age Friendly Lakeland? Are all of those domains being focused on, or are there some specific focus areas right now?
So right now, it would be nice to have every single domain covered, but it's going to take steps and a strategic plan, working specific items at a time to accomplish the goal to really become an age-friendly community. So specifically right now, what we're working on, we have a subcommittee that is the Neighborhood Outreach Committee. We've got 3 pilot neighborhoods currently. And within those neighborhoods, we've identified a neighborhood champion. And the neighborhood champion is basically a very recognized neighbor, knows all the neighbors, knows what's going on, could identify who the people are, what their neighborhood may need. And within these neighborhoods, the subcommittee has created a survey to see the specific needs of the neighborhoods. And our committee is now working on a strategic plan for each neighborhood to identify their needs, whether it be consistent falls in their neighborhood, no information for senior cares, senior care, for activities. So the committee really wants to work on a specific plan to that neighborhood to get them the information or a training that they would need to be able to self-sustain for a long time.
That's really amazing, because that really lends itself to empowerment, empowering people to take better care of themselves in the present rather than waiting for an emergent situation to happen. If they have the tools and the resources that they need at their fingertips, they are able better to take care of themselves and their neighbors as well. So that's a pretty incredible program, and I look forward to being able to share more with the community about that one. So
Yes.
Here's a good question for you that is often asked of me. How did we decide which areas to focus on? In other words, where did we get our information about what Lakeland wanted and needed?
So there was, anytime a city is designated as age-friendly through the application process, there is a survey that is run throughout the community. And the survey basically addresses specific areas through the 8 domains for what the city is doing good and what the city could use some improvement on our community. And so through that feedback, we've applied to creating these subcommittees along with input from all of the stakeholders within the community. I really don't think that it took a survey specifically to know that there needs to be more information around what's available for seniors, whether it be jobs, whether it be transportation or home improvement to make their home more accessible for them. There needs to be more information out in the community, and that's the biggest part of neighborhood outreach, is that we could reach neighbors and spread information more effectively this way than turning our wheels and sending mailers. And so with everybody collectively contributing within the neighborhood outreach program, all of our community partners, all of what the city has to offer, we could really help some of these neighborhoods in our community overall become a better place to age.
That is really exciting. And I can tell you from my perspective, I've been in my career, my husband and I own a publishing company, and we published the Polk Elder Care Guide, which has been here in Lakeland in Polk County for 26 years. And I've definitely seen the landscape change a bit over the years, and information is more readily available, but still, with everything that this community has to offer, it is amazing to me how many people just don't know what's here. And unfortunately, people wait until they're in a crisis situation before they seek information. And so I love the idea that we can push information out into the community about all of the amazing things that are happening in Lakeland and in Polk County for our older adults, allowing them to successfully age in place if that's what they choose to do, or to take advantage of the wonderful communities that exist here in our area. So I love that and look forward to seeing where that goes.
And just to add to that, it is really important that not just our seniors be aware of this information, because just like you said, Liz, when you need it, it may not be that easy to find, but that the information is out there. It's public knowledge. It is for people of all ages to recognize, because at some point we may be helping an elderly neighbor. We may be helping our parents, our friends, or any of our loved ones. And if you are equipped with the tools necessary, or even just by going to our website or following us on social media, you will have insight to really what is going on within the community and how you can help.
That's awesome. And this seems like a great place to talk about how we are looking to change the conversation as it relates to older adults in our area. In years past, you really wouldn't hear a whole lot about the senior demographic in a business circle, or there were a lot of it was really a very segregated group in a lot of ways. Now now, when we see developments coming up, we see new stores and restaurants opening, we see new initiatives by the Chamber of Commerce and other groups that are very inclusive of the senior demographic, and that really makes me happy because it's not as if we stop living because we put a few years
Right.
if just because we turn 55 or 65 doesn't mean that we're finished. And there is so much that our older adult residents bring to the table that I'm very happy to see integration into areas where we may not have seen that before. Intergenerational activities and intergenerational interaction are so very important, both for young people and for aging people as well.
And the AARP network of livable communities offers a lot of best practices to cities to learn from one another and to grow. And we really look forward to bringing a lot of those best practices to Lakeland to make it, include a lot of the intergenerational activities, include how to make our neighbors be better neighbors and just bring overall, make our community a safe place to age and a safe place to basically live for the long term.
Can we go back for a second? I'd really love to highlight kind of how we got to Age-Friendly Lakeland. Over the years, it has definitely been a point of conversation that I've been involved in, and I've been doing this for about 26 years, and I can't remember a time where there weren't positive, constructive conversations happening. But how did this actually come to be?
So that's a great question. The background of how Age-Friendly Lakeland came to be, the conversation has been around for a long, long time here in Lakeland, and I'll just lay out a brief timeline for you. We are a subcommittee of Lakeland Vision, and in 1998, Lakeland Vision formed, and they wanted to create and implement a vision for the future of the greater Lakeland area. And so there has always been a strong focus on seniors and our aging population, but in 2010, the City Commission approved focus groups to gather information on the senior needs here. And in 2014, the City of Lakeland achieved Communities for a Lifetime from the Florida Department of Elder Affairs. And so in 2014, we really started to solidify a plan around addressing our seniors. And in 2016, the Council on Seniors voted to pursue the Age-Friendly Community designation from AARP Florida. And volunteers in this group were requested to work on the application and to oversee the survey process. And so that brings us to 2017. AARP presented the city with the Age-Friendly Community designation, and we've basically formed a leadership and a committee to bring these things to fruition from the results from the survey and results or information that we've gathered from the community. And so now basically we're putting feet to the pavement to try to get the word on this initiative out there and bring the community together and try to get everybody on board to support and to keep our seniors front of mind in basically all aspects around the 8 domains of livability.
That's fantastic. So who are some of the leadership in Age-Friendly Lakeland?
So our leadership consists of former City Commissioner Don Selvage, and he's really put a lot of effort into senior needs in our community. We are very thankful for all of his efforts, as well as you've been a part of the conversation for a long time in senior needs. Steve Bissonette, also from Visti, also serves on our leadership team, along with Cindy Sharp from the Lakeland Police Department. She's got a lot of forethought and sees a lot of things out there for what seniors could really benefit from. And we're so thankful to have her. We have Laura Rodriguez, who is also from Lakeland Vision, who serves on our leadership team. And so we've got some strong voices also within the committee that we're very thankful for, who deal directly with a lot of senior needs that can bring things to the table so that we can make our community more age-friendly.
That is a great segue into if someone is listening and is interested in becoming involved in Age Friendly Lakeland, how would they do that?
Well, you could visit our website, which is www.agefriendlylakeland.com. And you could go to the contact link there, and you would basically be in touch with me. So send me an email, Allie@agefriendlylakeland.com. I would love, love, love your support. So check out our website, check out our Facebook page. We're on Facebook, Age Friendly Lakeland, as well as Instagram, Age Friendly Lakeland.
Awesome. Definitely go to those social media pages and like and share us with your friends. Let's help to make sure that everyone in Lakeland is aware of the Age Friendly Communities Initiative. One other thing that I think is important for us to touch on is here in 2020, we are in a census year. So that I think is more important than people realize because the census determines our funding. So can you tell me a little bit about what people should be thinking about and why the census is so important?
Yes. So I just posted a link today on our Facebook page about how you could become involved with the census and help support. But next month, between March 12th and the 20th, the online census will open. And so every household will receive their census invitation in the mail. From what I've heard, it will be postcard size with a pin, and you could enter your census information by going online.
So if somebody does not have access to a computer or a smartphone or a tablet, how would they go about making sure that they are counted?
So you'll get, if you have not submitted the information, a reminder letter will go out through March. A reminder postcard will go out following the letter. And there will be people from the U.S. Census going door to door to try to collect information if those items are not submitted. Mm-hmm. And we are working with the city of Lakeland to create places that folks can go that do not have internet access, that they could get assistance to enter their information and submit it, or to just have a computer to be able to submit it themselves. And so it's very vital that we get everyone counted. So we just want to get the word out there right now to do that.
I think I heard a number last week that said for every person who is not counted in the census that it costs the community $1,400. So you can imagine what a big number that is and how critical it is that we make sure everyone is counted. And just to be clear, Age Friendly Lakeland is not in charge of census or of the counting, but we just thought it was really important to make sure that we assist in sharing that information and getting the word out about that, because that's something that will affect the entire community. So if you have questions about the census or if you have concerns about being properly counted, you can contact the city or you can contact Polk Vision. I know that they have some big efforts underway to make sure that we're doing this well in Lakeland, and we're really thankful for that.
Beginning in March, the U.S. Census Bureau will invite households across the country to participate in the 2020 census. But what is the census? Simply put, the census is a head count of every person living in the United States. To be sure the government represents the people, the U.S. Constitution requires a population count every 10 years. Ever since 1790, the census has determined the number of seats each state receives in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is, and always has been, a cornerstone of our democracy. We still use it to determine representation, but leaders also use the data to make decisions. Your response helps guide planning for the future of our communities. The 2020 census will help inform decisions on how billions of dollars are allocated annually for critical public services like roads, schools, hospitals and healthcare clinics, fire and emergency response services, and hundreds of other programs. In 2020, for the first time, you'll be able to complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. It asks a few simple questions, like how many people live in your home on April 1st, including their age and sex, and if there are any children living there. You should know that by law, all census responses are completely confidential, and your personal information cannot be shared with any law enforcement agencies. Every person counts, no matter who you are or where you live. So whether your family has participated for decades or the 2020 census will be your first, we all have a role in shaping the future of our country.
You don't need to be the mayor,
a small business owner,
a community leader,
an immigrant,
board member, or a pastor
to help shape the future of Lakeland.
You just need to be someone who cares about your community. We all count.
We all count.
We all count.
By participating in the 2020 census,
we help shape our future.
Shape your future. Start here.
Visit 2020census.gov.
This is Listen Lakeland, the show that keeps you up to date on all things happening in and around the Lakeland area.
Okay, so let's go back to the domains of livability. So we talked about all 8 of those domains. Which of those domains do you think most applies to the activities that Age Friendly is working on right now?
I would definitely say that communication and information is a very big, important domain, mostly because we need to get all of our community partners, businesses, nonprofits, the city, we need to get everybody together and on board to make sure that we are giving the correct information and the most pertinent information to our seniors and our folks that support the seniors and neighbors. It's really important to have that support from neighbors. Think about how we get most of the information. If it's, for my generation, we are online, we get a lot of emails. For maybe a senior, it's the newspaper, television, or your neighbors. And so we really want to embrace the neighbor to neighbor and the community outreach and getting information in the best way we can and create that dialogue that really everybody could be in touch with everybody to help support the Age Friendly initiative.
Fantastic. I think that's a really important point, that it's a responsibility that we all carry, that to make an age-friendly community truly age-friendly, that we're all in tune with the needs of the mama with the baby stroller walking down the street and the senior who has a walker or a wheelchair, or a person who is traveling with someone who needs assistance. That those things are so important, and until you're faced with those situations, I think I've heard you mention before how much you love the buttons that open the doors automatically so you can get through with the stroller.
Yes, I do.
So I'm excited about the conversations in our community. I believe that we are on a path to definitely make our community more age friendly. And might I note that I want to express my appreciation to the City of Lakeland because although it is not always visible on the surface, our city does a lot to make sure that this is a good place for everyone to live.
Yes, and they do, and it's just a pleasure to work with them because they do have a focus on making our community more age-friendly, and we really appreciate that. Now, I'm sure that some people in the community are wondering how that they could help. And I do have a couple notes here that you could help us by providing helpful and courteous feedback, and we could help relay that to the government and the city to try to either bring action, a call to action, or make change. And also out in the community, you all can advocate for your friends, your family, your neighbors who are experiencing any type of limitations in any type of activities, in any locations, anything regarding information, anything around these 8 domains that we really outlined today. And it takes a community to continue to get better. So I just wanted to highlight that also.
Absolutely. That's a great point. We invite you to visit our website, lakelandvision.org, to view our community-driven vision. Well, thank you for being with us today, Allie, and thank you for all that you and the entire Age-Friendly Lakeland team are doing to make our city an incredible place for people of all ages to live.
Listen Lakeland is brought to you as a collaborative project between Lakeland Vision, the City of Lakeland, and Hall Communications. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.